Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in the Midlife Crisis. My name's Andy, and this evening I'm going to be attempting to put together this Ventura Supermarine Spitfire Mark 22. Now, as you can see, I've gathered myself a couple of tools to aid me in this process. A Black & Decker sander, a Magnuson handsaw, and an axe. The reason for these rather excessive bits of equipment is I feel I may actually require them, as what's in this box is not exactly, well, it's not a Revell, it's not a Tamiya, and it's certainly not an Airfix. So let's just get these out of the way. Hopefully we won't need them later, but they might just be called for. Let's get this model out of the box and we'll see what it is. Now, I've actually done a kit review on this particular model a couple of days ago, and as a genuine novice at this hobby, I was quite surprised at what I found. Now, I actually bought this as I have a collection of 33 Spitfires, which I'm using as an aid to help me learn modelling, basically, mainly the finer arts of painting. And when I had a look at this, I was kind of surprised because basically, well, it's got a lot of problems and it needs a lot of work to put it together successfully. Now, I've come to the conclusion today that I'm actually going to basically just put this together as it's come out of the bag. The reason I'm doing this is basically, well, it's my model, I can pretty much do what I like with it. Now, I have had a few conversations with some people online who are far more knowledgeable about this subject and this particular type of model, and they assure me that I'm probably being a little bit unfair, and I gotta be honest with you, I probably am, but I'm just going to build it anyway. Now, to give you a little bit of history of Ventura, they actually are a small-scale manufacturer from New Zealand, and I'm led to believe that basically a lot of their models were hard to find items that didn't interest the mainstream manufacturers to put into production. Now, I'm quite happy with that. I mean, that kind of makes sense. You've got a small manufacturer trying to build some models for people who genuinely are interested in the subject and basically want to put together some hard to find items. So I don't really want to offend anyone, but like I say, I'm just going to build this as is. I'm not going to file it down. I'm not going to use any putty on it. I'm just going to stick it together. Now, my opinion on this model is, yes, it probably was intended for people who have a certain skill set and were willing to put the time into actually making a really nice model out of it. I'm quite happy to accept that. But unfortunately, there's a lot of quite ordinary modelers like myself who might have just picked this up thinking, oh, yeah, that's just another model I can add to the collection. I can put that together in a couple of hours. Oh, 20 minutes as I'm hoping to do this in. And they may have been really, really, really upset at what they got. I mean, I might be wrong here, but I kind of think that for every skilled modeler that bought one of these, there was a rather upset child at the end of the day. Now, as you can see, I'm actually using Humbrol poly cement on this build because I think due to the construction of it, it's probably a better option for me. I have been using the Tamiya extra thin, but I think there's a certain amount of manipulation that I'm going to have to do here to try and get this thing together. The instructions, as you can see, are pretty basic. I mean, that's basically it. So I'm basically trying to, oh, I've already missed a load of steps, but yeah, never mind. That's what happens when you have when you do things kind of off the cuff like I do. Now I'm going to actually put the two wings together, or the two bits on the wings. And this is where my problems really sort of come, because these really don't fit together very well. This is why I'm using the poly cement. There we go. I feel I'm going to have to hold that for a while. Let's get one of these pegs on. Sorry, I've stopped yapping because I'm having to concentrate a little bit. You can see here we've got excess of plastic and it's not allowing me to put the wing together properly, and it really doesn't seem to join up very well here, and at the end there's quite a bizarre little sort of almost a triangular gap there. But I must admit, it's actually going together slightly better than I anticipated. I mean, obviously, if I was willing to put more time into this, I'd just sand all this off with the Black & Decker and would probably get quite a nice join on it. Let's get a peg on there. Right, what should we do next? I've skipped all the cockpit bits out. Let's put the, oh dear, well, there's absolutely no chance of snapping these bits off. Like I said, I'm not going to do any sanding. I'm going to pretend I'm a 13-year-old child in New Zealand who got this for his birthday. That goes in there, and that goes in there. Alright, let's slap a bit of glue on. Maybe I should sand that down a bit, but nah. The plastic is very, very, I don't know, brittle maybe. Ooh. Oh, that's really, oh yeah, oh, there we go. As you can see, I'm really not trying to do this thing any justice whatsoever. Cripes. really struggling with this. Ooh. I have just completely stopped talking. This is not going together well. Now I'm actually going to admit to this is not going too well at the moment. That's probably down to me and my lack of skill. Like I said, these potentially were intended for model makers far beyond my capabilities. Ye gods. But even so, this really doesn't want to go together. Not for me anyway. I'm going to have to do something with that. Oh well, I've had to get the clippers out. Really at risk of making a dog's dinner out of a dog's dinner here. Jeez whiz. Well, I managed to get the wings together anyway. Got to give me some credit for that. Maybe we'll just leave that there for a bit. We'll leave that there for a bit. I'm going to try and get these tail planes off. Now there's no actual any holes for the tail planes to slot into, so these just need to be taken off right there. You can really hear that's a big click when you cut them off. Oh, jeez. There we go. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, what's probably the best thing to do would have been to put them on separately. Should probably entitle this "The Worst Model Maker in the World Makes the Worst Model in the World." That is being a bit cruel though. On the model, of course, not me. Gee, this is just doesn't want to go together, that. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. That'll do. Right. This might take some time. Carpet monster didn't get that one. Oop. So this is why you need them little holes. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, you could actually drill some holes in there, maybe. Old school glue for old school model. They've gone on okay. Hopefully they won't droop. I mean, yeah. Could really do some more help here, Mr. Ventura guy. Okay, let's have a look at these wings. Right, I've got some air intakes here to go on. And there's no guidance on the instructions as to which way they're supposed to go around. I mean, believe you me, that's the instructions. It's literally step 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna put them here, I think. There's another one. Right, so got those air intakes on. That is just really bad. I'm going to blame me there, not the model. Let's have a look at the propeller. Now we've got a 5-blade propeller, which is behind this bit of landing gear. Oh God, that's really... Somebody pass me the saw, man. Ooh, it's quite brittle as well. And we've got the propellers here. These are all one-piece propellers, so lining these up is going to be... It's going to be a bit of a task, I tell you. Oops. Really not very pleasant. Should have a propeller cone. There we go. And I'm guessing we're going to put this together like that. And then, yeah. Just trim that down a bit, I think. And then we're going to stick the propellers in. Cool. that to go off a bit. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, whether that's actually part of the tail or that's a defect in the plastic. I'm not sure. Drooping, yeah. Let's just put that on there. There we go. Right. So where are we at? I don't really know which way the propellers are supposed to go. I suppose I could consult a book, but I'm just going to stick these in. That's one. That's two. Three. I mean, to be fair, they're actually going in really well. I was a bit worried about this, but they actually fit into the holes really snug. Of course, getting them at the right angle, I don't know, that's kind of looking, I think I've got one of these the wrong way around. It's that one. We can turn it that way, I think. Yeah. There we go. Right, what else have we got to do? We've got the landing gear. I've got a couple of wheels. Let's cut them off. Now, I think the way this is actually supposed to be built is you're supposed to allow quite a lot of time, but I'm kind of getting in the habit of trying to do these quite quickly. Unfortunately, I've cut a bit of the landing gear off there. Jeez, how the hell does that go in? That's by willpower alone, that seems. That attaches to that by willpower and glue. There is no plug, no hole in the wheel to aid you to get that in. I've got this gloopy glue all over me. A bit more. There's just no mounting points anywhere on it. I mean, I can kind of understand that. I mean, they're obviously using quite a basic form of injection moulding. I don't know anything about injection moulding, but I'm guessing that the machine they were using was kind of ancient like myself, or was quite a cheap one maybe. I really don't know. I mean, it seems strange to put things on the market in 1995 that really weren't that great. But obviously, like people have said, I do understand that it's a, maybe some of the other ones, I mean, the Spitfire Mark II, Mark 22, maybe it just wasn't produced by anybody else and people wanted to buy it. But I mean, you can see here that it really just doesn't fit very well. And that's, honestly, that's not me. And obviously I could have taken these lumps out, but should I really have to? I don't know. I mean, it's going together reasonably well. I think really crunch time as if it's actually going to fit in there, to be honest with you, which it kind of does. That's okay. Well, that kind of fits in there. Right, let's find the tail wheel. We've seen it, there it is. Cut that off. Let's get that attached. It wants to go that way. And there's no hole for... That's a really ugly tail wheel. There's no hole for the tail wheel to go in, so he's just trying to find the right place, I guess. Put that there. Nope. Let's use that. Let's just put it on the top of that like that. I needed a bit of Dutch courage to approach this one, or South African courage as this particular bottle is. Okay, so that's the seat, which we haven't put in. These are the cannons, which we will put in. And what else do we want? We want the exhaust cowlings. Oh, be really careful with the plastic because it's very brittle. Right, let's see if we can't get these guns in. Where the hell are the guns supposed to go? There's no guide holes for the guns. There's no guide holes for the guns, so obviously you need a drill. I have actually got a drill. I haven't taken out the packet yet though. So this one is going to be unarmed. Right. These are... what am I supposed to do with them? I mean, if I try to put them in this hole, they're just going to fall through. What were they thinking? What were they thinking, man? Oh, bizarre. It's just a hole in the side of the fuselage where these go, and it's bigger than the manifolds, so I'm scared it's just gonna... oh, it can't. Oh, no. What were they thinking when they did that? Oh, there we go. That's in. Oh dear. It's difficult. Oh, that's okay. Maybe they knew what they were doing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a Muppet. Answers on a postcard to that question. Am I a Muppet? Right. There we go. I was wrong. I touch them, they're going to fall off now. Right, let's try and get the fuselage onto the wing. Kind of surprised there's no holes for the cannon actually, but you know, they managed to make the holes really quite well for this, but there's no holes for the cannon. I've got some nasty gaps going on, and this is another problem I identified on the this doesn't... I mean, if you fit it there flush, this pushes up, and if you fit it there flush, it does that. I've really no idea how even if I was taking my time with this, how I would solve this conundrum. Clamps maybe, I mean, it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Right, okay. Let's see if we can get these this propeller on. Well, there's no actual sort of fixing for the propeller, it's just a case of sticking it on like that. I mean, it seems to be a hole there for a propeller mounting, but believe you me, there's no mounting. That propeller looks terrible. We probably should have done something with that, but I did say I was going to try and do this without any tools, so... I mean, I've got to be honest with you, apart from the wings, it actually looks better than I thought it was. Apart from this bit here, I have no idea what's going on with that. I've got the fuselage together quite well, but this just... I mean, maybe you have to heat it up or something. That'd be interesting to know. Do you need to heat the plastic up to get a better fit? I mean, you could smother it in putty, but I don't think that's going to work. Oh, look at that, there's no holes for the hole for the wheel either, so there is no hole for the wheel. Oh, that's horrible. You haven't got a hole for the wheel. Oh, what the right, they've got a... yeah, so... I'm going to take that off. I haven't got time to be faffing around with a drill. I have got one. There she is. She's not out the packet yet, like a lot of other bits and bobs that I've acquired. I'm just going to stick these on. Actually, I could probably put them in, couldn't I? I could put them in. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have the landing gear up. I wouldn't normally do it, but to save my embarrassment, I'm going to put the landing gear up. Whoops. Oh. There we go. If you wanted to put the landing gear up, the landing gear doesn't actually fit into the hole. That's bizarre. Does it? Yeah, maybe it does. There we go. Right. So we can't put the cannon on because there's no holes and we're not going to drill any holes. We do have the pièce de la résistance. There's a bubble top canopy. And I'm going to leave that off because, I don't know, I am going to paint this up. Definitely going to paint it up. I might even put some filler in here. So anyway, there we go. A really poor attempt at building a Ventura Supermarine Spitfire Mark 22. Now, like I said, I've had a few conversations with people and they have told me that this model does require a certain level of skill and a certain level of patience that I don't possess, and I've not been willing to commit to this tonight. Luckily for me, I have another one. Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9C by Ventura, kit VO206, a limited production collector's kit, this one, number 140 from 500. Now, what I'm intending to do with this one is to give this one the time and the patience that I haven't given to this one. So anyone that wants to say I haven't really been fair to this model, I agree. I haven't been fair to this model at all. When I opened it, it looked like a total abomination, and I think that if you put the amount of level of effort into it that's required, I think it could make a pretty model. But I'm really concerned about the fit of the wings underneath, and I'm really concerned about the fit on this particular one of this whole mounting of the wing. It just doesn't seem right. Now, I've actually had a look in this one, and this one does appear to be, in my eyes, a little bit better than this one, although it's still going to take a hell of a lot of work to make it right. So that is what I'm going to do. I've given this one no time and no patience, and I'm going to give that one, I reckon I'm going to give this one a whole day in a couple of weeks, once I've got over the stress of building this one. But I still stand by the fact that if just a regular person picked this up, or a kid got this for his birthday, geez, I mean, there would be tears. There'd be tears, because this is hard. But it's a rarity. It's an interesting thing. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little trip into the Twilight Zone. And if you have any questions or suggestions on my model building abilities, you're more than welcome. And please like and subscribe and join me for my model building ride. I've run out of wine. Cheers. Be seeing you.